My dad, he didn't file a reentry visa, and he's been living outside of the country for almost 10 years now. His green card is getting ready to expire, and I wanted to know if he had any options of coming back.
He does, but not as a green card holder at the moment. He he did let his green card expire because he abandoned his green card. You have to be living in the United States to be a permanent resident. If he's been out of the United States for more than 10 years, he's in essence abandoned his permanent residence in the United States. Now are you a citizen, Kosha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he has two options. He can go back to the U.S. Embassy, whatever country he's in, and he can say, I had a green card, I don't need it anymore, I never wanted it in the first place, I just want to go visit my daughter, can you give me a visitor's visa? And 99% of the time, they will take the green card and give him a visitor's visa. Why would they do that? Because in order to get a visitor's visa, you have to be able to prove you do not have the intention of living in America. What better way to prove that you have no intention of living in America is, I had a green card, I could have lived in America, and I chose not to. So they will give him the visitor's visa 99% of the time. Or alternatively, if he doesn't want to visit, he really does want to get his green card back, you as a U.S. citizen over the age of 21, you could refile for him, and he'll be here in a year with a green card. Those would be his options.
I have a good friend of mine that recently got her citizenship. And the thing is, it happens to be that her parents came here in the United States as a visitor, but they end up, how do you call this? They overstayed their visa, but they haven't really committed anything.
Okay. So if your friend,
she's actually capable of.
Yeah. How old is your friend?
My friend is like 20-something.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, almost 30.
Okay.
So she's got a good job, and she's married to a U.S. citizen. And basically what happened is she wanted to petition her parents.
She can.
What forms does she need to fill up? And she could still file a petition, right? Without,
correct,
even though their parents are overstayed, right?
Yes.
They came here as a visitor.
Yes. If the parents overstayed and their daughter's over 21 and she's a U.S. citizen, she's going to file for each parent separately an I-485, an I-130, an I-765 for the work permit, an I-131 for the advanced parole, an I-864 affidavit of support. And that's what she will file.
That's for each of them, right?
For each
one of them, right?
Right. And the fact that they overstayed or even the fact that they worked illegally is not going to be a bar to them getting a green card.
Okay, that's
all right?
perfect.
So
yeah,
because
we wanted to know
absolutely
what kind of forms to file, and I mean, the payment has to be one since you don't need two. I think it's all going to be one payment since you don't need to pay extra for the work permit, right? Since you're all filing it at the same time.
Right. So you're going to pay for each parent. The total fee for everything is going to be $1,760. So you're going to write one check to the Department of Homeland Security for $1,760 for mom and $1,760 for dad. So whatever that is, 35.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is a little bit lengthy, and I just have a little bit of background. So I'm calling on behalf of my uncle. He entered the U.S. in 1975. He overstayed and was deported after running a red light. He entered in 1986 on someone else's passport. He got married in 1986 in his own name, got a green card. That wife passed away in 2007. So presently, he's interested in marrying his new girlfriend. He's retired and collecting Social Security. The girlfriend is 30. She's in the U.S. legally on a visitor visa. Her status, though, expires, I think she told me, next month.
But this man never became a citizen?
No, he never became a citizen.
Okay.
So that's what he wants to know. It will be a challenge becoming a citizen.
How did he get his green card? Through amnesty?
Through marriage.
Through marriage.
He returned in 1986 and got married, got a green card. But when he entered in 1986, he told me he came up from the Caribbean on somebody else's passport.
But immigration didn't know about that, or they did?
No, because he showed me some fingerprints that he
did.
And
so he committed. All right. So I'm not sure who this person is, and you shouldn't say his name. But 35 years ago, the man committed fraud to get a green card, in all honesty. And if immigration now, under Donald Trump, when he files for his citizenship, they're going to research everything. I promise you this. And when they discover that he committed a fraud 35 years ago, they're going to say, you have never been a permanent resident ever. Because had the government known about your fraud, you would never have gotten your green card. You didn't deserve it. So we consider you not a permanent resident. And they're going to look to put him in deportation. So he has a big issue, a huge issue. I would have said 15 years ago, nobody would have researched to see how he came in. But now it's a completely different story. So he has a big issue, and he shouldn't do anything until he speaks to a good lawyer.
A quick question for you. So my cousin overstayed her time here. She met someone, fall in love. They have been married for less than a year now. He's a permanent resident here. However, he wants to put in his documentation to become a citizen, but he wants to put in the documents for her. What would be the quickest way for her to get a green card?
They're married. The quickest way, the quicker he becomes a citizen, the quicker she gets her green card. So he should be filing his citizenship immediately. If there was a choice of, should I file my citizenship first? Should I file for her first? You should do both at the same time. Okay? But sometimes people are like, oh, I don't have the filing fee for both. Get the citizenship in. Because until he's a citizen, she's not getting a green card, at least here in the United States. So get his citizenship in. And then I would also suggest either simultaneously or shortly thereafter, file for your wife even as a permanent resident. Get that process going. Just file the I-130. And then when he becomes a citizen, upgrade the petition and adjust the status. That would be the fastest way.
Okay. And how long does it take in order for him to become a citizen?
I would have said last year 12 to 18 months, but right now they're taking 6-9 months. It's going pretty fast.
First of all, thanks a lot. I think I called before and took your guidance. So we went through our interview, me and my wife. So our interview completed. My wife had a petty theft, which was dismissed through diversion. They did talk about it.
Right.
And said it should not be a problem.
It's not.
Post that, they've given us a paper because our dates are not current yet. It's an employment-based, and I'm the primary.
Right.
And he marked a couple of things on it. And he told the first thing is your case is under review because I think his supervisor needs to sign on it.
The reason it's under review, anytime there's an arrest, it has to go through the supervisor. But the diversion program's not going to prevent your wife from getting a green card, so don't worry about it.
Okay, perfect. And then he marked the second piece of the stuff on it, which is he said it's for you because your visa dates are not current.
Well, I guess it's because the priority date's not current, so they can't give a final decision until the priority date is current.
The only last thing that I have is he did ask about the diversion program. He didn't take any papers because we submitted the actual paperwork when we filed it.
I think it's fine.
So he asked about the diversion, and he said, did you do any community service? To which she said she did. And he asked, so obviously it was not on top of her mind. So she said one day, and he said 24 hours. She said yes, wherein it was actually 15 hours or not 24 hours.
That's all right. 15, 24 hours.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't get that.
I don't think that's a big deal because they have the document. You submit it to them because the disposition says, this is what I pled guilty to, and this is my punishment. So I think it's perfectly fine.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, he wrote not committed. Yeah. And then also, during my interview, he asked me the question around the traffic ticket. I don't know why. Normally they don't. But then he asked, so I had to tell him that I had a traffic ticket.
It's fine. So you did it. It's still not going to prevent you from getting a green card. The only thing you have to do now is watch the priority dates every month. And once your priority dates become current, they have to give you a decision within 120 days of that date.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Yep. So that's perfect. So I will keep a watch on that. And then it's been a week that our the status has not changed online.
Don't worry about that. They don't
update
it. Don't worry about that.
Okay. All right. That sounds great.
Sounds like
you were really helpful.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your help.
Okay.
Because of my a couple of questions, but my main question is, because my green card is so long expired, is that going to affect anything?
No, you're still a permanent resident. You just don't have evidence of it.
I never left the country. The last time I left the country was in 2008.
Fine.
So I've been in the United States since then.
Fine, no problem. You have to be in the United States for 30 out of the last 60 months. You've been in the United States for the last 12 years, so that's fine.
Okay, so then I don't have a problem. My second thing is, in 2015, I got pulled over because I had to suspend the license. I got arrested. I got fingerprinted. An hour later, I came out, paid a fine, and that was it. That's the only thing I have in my record.
That's not a deportable offense. It's not a crime of moral turpitude. That should be okay, too. But you do have to.
It was supposed to be a misdemeanor.
You do have to disclose that. But that's not a deportable offense. How long ago did it happen?
2015.
You should be okay. I mean, they could say, driving with a suspended license is shows bad moral character, but it depends on the circumstances. A lot of times, people are driving with a suspended license and they don't even know about it.
Uh-huh. So since I got divorced about 3 years ago, I'm sorry, a little more, about 4 years ago, does this divorce is going to conflict? Because I didn't get my green card through marriage just to start with. I got it before, 4 years before.
Let me explain to you with citizenship, okay? You're allowed to fall in and out of love. That's fine, okay? But citizenship has nothing to do with whether you're married or not married unless you're basing it on 3 years of marriage to a citizen. You've been a resident for 30 some odd years. So whether you're married, not married, is irrelevant. Number two, you got to be able to prove you know how to read, write, and speak English, and you're a person of good moral character for the last 5 years. You pay your taxes. You're otherwise amenable to becoming a U.S. citizen. That's it.
How long is the wait? I'm in New York City. I'm not running Westchester County.
6-9 months, hopefully, but if it's more than 9 months, come see me.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I want to bring my niece, adopt her from Bangladesh. So is there any way that I can...
How old is your niece?
Her from Bangladesh.
How old is your niece?
She is 8-year-old.
Okay, where's her mom and dad?
Her dad died a long time ago, and her mom abandoned her, and she lives in Australia.
The mom lives in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's raising the niece right now?
My mom.
Your mom. Okay, so you want to bring your niece over as an orphan. So what needs to happen is you have to have the authorities in Bangladesh. There must be some sort of agency. I can find out. I don't know off the top of my head. But there is an agency in Bangladesh, I could assure you, that will strip the mom of her parental rights because the mom abandoned this child. So what you have to do is you have to strip the mother of her parental rights because the mother abandoned her. That has to happen in Bangladesh. We can assist you in doing that. There's an agency in Bangladesh, like in any country, that would assist you in doing that. At the same time, you live, I see it in New York. You go into family court in New York, or actually you go into Supreme Court in New York. We help you with that as well. And we ask the judge for what's called a pre-adoption certificate. What a pre-adoption certificate is it says that after the child comes to America, the judge is satisfied that he will do an adoption for you. So the judge has to check you out. You got to run your fingerprints through the state criminal record, make sure that you have a safe, nice, clean home for this child. The social worker is going to come, but then the judge is going to look at all of this and say, yeah, you're a good parent to do an adoption. Now you have a child in Bangladesh that has no mother and no father because you stripped the mother of her parental rights. If you get the mother to agree to an adoption, that child's not an orphan because the mother agreed to it and the child's not an orphan anymore. That's what it says under the law. So you must do it this way by stripping the parents of the parental rights. Make the child an orphan. At the same time, you do a pre-adoption in New York. Then you bring the child over on an I-600 application. You do the adoption here, and the child becomes an automatic citizen. So yes, the answer is I can assist you, and that would be the process. It takes about 9-10 months.
Okay, so do I need to be a citizen, or I am currently a permanent resident?
You do need to be a citizen. Are you married to a citizen?
Yeah. Okay,
so then your husband would be doing it. You would both be adopting, but as long as your husband's a citizen, he would be the signer on the application. But you would both be adopting as husband and wife.
If it's like that, only I want to involve in this matter.
You can't be just only you involved in this matter because the social worker is going to say who lives with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in the Bangladesh, the agency, are you going to help about that?
Yes. Yeah, we assist you all. But if you're married to a man and you live together in the same house and the man says, I don't want anything to do with this child, they're not going to allow this child to come over. It's not a good environment for a child where half the house doesn't want this child there.
What about if I apply for my mom, can she bring her grandchild?
No.
No, right?
No.
It's the only way that I can adopt her.
Correct.
You will help me, right?
Even if your mom adopts her in Bangladesh and you file for your mom, only mom would come.
Okay, then that time, she can bring her, right?
No, I just said no, she can't. Even if your mom adopts, I said no. So I'm telling you the only...
I couldn't hear you properly, that's why.
Well, okay, then hold on one second, okay?
I recently became a U.S. citizen, naturalized. and my sister is a maternity nurse in Trinidad. And I would like to sponsor her, and it doesn't have, and I'm not sure, should I sponsor her just directly and wait 10, 15 years, or because she's a nurse? Is there any way that she can get here faster?
She can get here faster, but she would have to take the CGFNS. She would have to take the NCLEX exam.
The N or M?
NCLEX. NCLEX.
NCLEX.
NCLEX, which is the nursing exam for the United States to get a license. And
she has to take the nursing exam.
Yeah, right. And that would be the nursing exam. And then she has to take the TOEFL, the test of English as a foreign language, even though English is her first language, still has to do it. And then she submits her education and her job experience and the NCLEX results, which hopefully she passes, and the TOEFL, which I'm sure she will pass, to an organization called the College of Graduate Foreign Nursing Schools, which is cgfns.org. And you can look on cgfns.org for all these instructions. And then she submits all of this, and cgfns.org will send her something called a visa screen. Once she has a visa screen, a hospital or a nursing home can sponsor her, and that sponsorship would take less than 12 months for a green card.
It'd take less than 12 months.
Right.
Less than 12
months. Right. So my suggestion would be, is put in the petition for her, because it can't hurt, even though it's 10 to 15 years.
But that what form is that?
What?
What form is that?
I-130. But that doesn't mean,
I-130.
but that just because you file for her as a brother-sister doesn't mean now she has to wait 15 years. Let her take the NCLEX, let her take the TOEFL, and then let her look for a job as a nurse, or you can help her look for a job as a registered nurse, and then let her get sponsored. And even if it takes her a year to pass all her tests and another year to get sponsored, she can do 2 paths to get a green card, whichever one comes in first.
Okay, then. I hear you.
All right.
And the I-130, is that very expensive? What's the
$535.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, and thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Hi, Brad. I'm calling for my cousin, and here's the situation. He's married to a green card holder. He's had his green card for 13 years. He's 37 years old. He does not know how to read and write. He applied for his citizenship last year. He went in.
Why does it? Well, okay, he's going to fail. Why doesn't he know how to read and write? Was this, because this is one of two things, okay?
Yes.
All right. Is he because wherever he grew up and went to school, they just advanced him year by year and couldn't care less whether or not he knows how to read or write?
That is exactly right.
Okay, then there's nothing you can do because there's nothing mentally deficient about him. He doesn't have a mental disability. Okay,
he did one of those disability forms,
but it does. He can fill all the disability forms that he wants. Okay.
Right.
Now I don't want. I don't want to be. I want to try to be as politically correct as possible, but I'm not going to be politically correct now. So I apologize to those that I'm not being politically correct. But unless he's mentally retarded, he is not going to get a disability to get a waiver for the English. What they're going to say is, sir, you have no mental retardation, you have no mental disability, you just never learned to read and write. Go learn to read and write. Other than that, he has to wait until he's 55 years old. And the way that you prove that he has this mental disability is he has to go to a medical doctor who runs scientifically recognized medical tests and fill out a form properly and say, I did these medically, scientifically recognized tests, and this man has a mental retardation or a mental disability. And you have to demonstrate it. It's not the doctor saying, my opinion is that he has a mental disability. It is these tests
and he cannot do this at 37 years old.
Well, if he can't learn to read and write at 37, then he's got to wait till 55.
Right. And is there a way for him to file for her with a green card or no?
Yes, but she's going to wait longer. That's all.
She's going to wait longer. Is he going to require her to go back? She's from Jamaica.
She would have to do a provisional waiver. She would have to do a provisional waiver. But it's fine.
And how long is the
It'll be a 3-year process, and she'll be back in Jamaica, assuming she gets the provisional waiver. She'll be back in Jamaica for 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.